So if we take a look at the list of numbers here, they want us to write them in order, smallest first. And the numbers are 3.2, 3.02, 3.24, 3.013 and 3.14. So let's take a look at each number individually. Well, they all start with the number 3, so that's not going to help us decide on the size of them. So we're therefore going to have to look at our tenths column first. And the smallest one is obviously going to be the number that has the smallest number in that tenths column. But when you look again, we have 2 numbers that have 0 in that tenths column. So we now need to look at the hundredths column and see which one has the smallest number there. You can then see that 3.02 has a 2 in that hundredths column, but 3.013 only has a 1 in the hundredths column, which makes that our smallest number. Don't make the mistake of thinking if it's got more decimal places that it's therefore bigger, because that's not true. We look at the place value and that's what determines the size. So our next largest number will obviously be 3.02, as it was between those two in the first place. Let's look for our next one then. Well, we've got 3.2, 3.24 and 3.14. Well, obviously 3.14 will be next, as that only has a 1 in the tenths column, whereas the other two have the number 2 in the tenths column. And when we decide between 3.2 and 3.24, well, 3.2 is going to be the next number, because 3.24 has that additional 4 on the end of it. So notice, using place value there, we were able to write those numbers in order from the smallest up to the largest. Now let's have a look at another example, but this time they want us to write the numbers in order with the largest first. And you may be asked in any question to either write in ascending or descending order. So it's good to be able to do both. If we look at these numbers, we have 12.3, 12.035, 12.31, 12.23 and 12.333. So we can see that all the numbers begin with 12, so that's not going to help us find the largest number. So let's look at that tenths column. Now, if we take a look at the tenths column, you can see we have 3 numbers that all have 3 in that tenths column. One of those is going to be the biggest number. Now, if we take a look, then 12.3, 12.31 and 12.333. Well, we're going to have to look to the hundredths column now. Now in 12.3, there's no number in the hundredths column, so that's 0. 12.31, there's a 1 in the hundredths column, but 12.333 has a 3 in the hundredths column. So that will be our largest number. Our next largest number, well, we just worked that out, was 12.31 because it had a 1 in the hundredths column. The next largest will be 12.3, and that's all our numbers now that had a 3 in that tenths column. So let's look now at the tenths columns of the remaining 2 numbers. Well, the next largest will be 12.23 because it has a 2 in that tenths column, and then our smallest number will be 12.035. So again, it's the place value that informs our decision as to the size of these decimal numbers.